Hey everybody, it's Brad. Just thought I'd give you a quick rundown of how we're doing our honey extracting this year. This is a nice filled out frame here. I run 7 frames in an 8-frame box, so they fill out nice and thick. They work really well for uncapping because you can see that it's drawn out past the wood here a little bit. What we do for uncapping, this is Brad's version of a hot knife. We take a thermos full of boiling hot water and we keep our knives stored in there. This is a nice long serrated knife, and this works really well for us. Let's see if I can do one here on camera. What you want to do, especially at the top here, is get it curving out right away, and then as you go down it'll just peel right off there. And that one went really well. Knife's a little cooler by the time we get to the second side, but usually it still works very well. A little bit of a sawing motion. Oh, there you go, I did it for the camera, amazing. So then you put it right back in the thermos and it gets it nice and hot for the next time. What we do is we go ahead and store them just in these tubs here. We have 9 ready to. So this is a brand new extractor for me this year. It's a Hillco 9-frame extractor. So far I'm really liking it. It's a little bit, you have to take just a little bit of care when you're putting your frames in, but that's okay. Down at the bottom there's a wider notch, and you want to make sure you get it seated in down there at the bottom. So let me let me go ahead and load the rest of these frames in, and we'll do an extraction, and that's about it. All right, so we have all of our 9 frames all loaded up in there. We're getting ready to start up the extractor here. So no matter what kind of extractor you have, they're going to wobble. There's going to be some imbalance in your load. So I like to fasten mine down. I took a sheet of plywood, doubled it up, screwed it together to make my base, and then you can see I added these chains. And I just took a piece of aluminum stock and made this connector for the chain here and a turnbuckle. And I've got a chain down reasonably tight. It's still going to wobble a little bit, but it does let you speed things up a little bit quicker than normal. Then over here on the front, I run one of these double strainer stainless steel strainers. I just put a fresh one on there that's clean. This one kind of got filled up with wax chunks and everything. I'm going to need to clean it off before we run another batch through that. So let's fire it up here and see how it works. Close the lid. This is a Hillco 9-frame extractor. I'm really liking it so far. It's very quiet, works very well. You just start turn the knob here and it will start spinning the extractor. And you just never want to go up to full speed right away. You want to just start it nice and slow. This will go up to 50 at the max speed. So let's just kind of see what we have. Some loads are really well balanced, so you can go right up to 50 right away. Maybe we'll let that run at 33 there just for a little bit, get some of that initial honey out. One thing that's nice about these Hillco extractors, they have a domed bottom in them, and it's slanted from back to front. So all of your honey drains to the spigot out here, or to the gate. So you can see we're just now getting a little bit from this first load. It'll come out a lot quicker here in a little bit. All right, let's see about speeding this up a little bit, see what we got. I'm just gonna let it run there for a while. In a little bit, I'll speed it up to 50 and we'll finish it up, but it can kind of run unattended here. The only thing you have to worry about is you want to make sure that you're not outstripping your strainer. Sometimes if the strainer starts to slow down a little bit, as far as straining the honey, it'll fill up and overflow, so you got to keep an eye on that. But other than that, you just stand here and let it run. All right, we're all done extracting, so we'll turn her off here. This Hillco extractor is just really quiet too. And you pull these frames out, let me tell you, they're really cleaned out of honey, nice and dry. So that we ran, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 minutes. I didn't really time it, but it does a really nice job of cleaning these frames out, so you don't have a whole lot of extra honey sitting around. So one batch, you can't really see it in there too well. Get a little over half a bucket with one batch of 9 frames in there. So it's a little too much. You got to be careful. I don't like to fill my buckets up too full. I'll take this and pour it into one of these other buckets over here and get them about 4 gallons per bucket. And it's about as heavy as I want to lift. Anyhow, that's how we do our honey. Thanks. All right, just a couple more things here to show you how we deal with the wax cappings. What I have here on the top is one of these mesh strainer bags that you can get at the honey places, or even the brewing places sell them. They hang down so far in a bucket. I'm even using the tall six gallon brewer's bucket. So I took another bucket, I cut the bottom off of it. I don't know if you can see or not. And the bag hangs down through the bottom of that bucket. I've got some bolts on here that rest on top of the rim. We'll put all the wax cappings in these buckets with the bag strainers and let those sit overnight. And tomorrow we'll have a couple gallons of honey down in that bucket. And then the wax is a little bit cleaner, then it can be washed out and rinsed and get ready for wax processing. What we use for our uncapping tanks is not very fancy at all, but it works really well. I get these tubs at Restaurant Depot. They're for restaurants. This is a perforated tub, and then underneath it's just a regular tub, and it's a little bit taller. Sits on top of there, and I just have a piece of, this is actually PVC lumber, and instead of wood I have a piece there with the screw driven up through the bottom, and you can see how you just rest the frame right on top of that screw. Makes it real nice. Last thing I have to show you is these drip trays. Have just been super handy for me. I made these a few years ago out of 1/2-inch plywood, and they work really well because you set your honey supers in there, and any excess honey drips down in the tray and doesn't spill out on the floor. I sealed it with several coats of polyurethane so that nothing absorbs into the wood or anything. But I find these really helpful for going out and getting supers. You put these in your vehicle so you can set your supers in there, or when they're sitting here in the garage. Really helps a lot. Anyhow, thanks again for watching.